all set up. Alright, so we are back in Satisfactory. So last time we had set up the whole train network and we had filled out this very rudimentary prototype factory. Just makes iron rods, nothing too fancy there. And now we need to actually build a whole lot of production for our real factory, the heavy modular frames. So the first thing we need to do is we need to increase the amount of iron ore attached to the factory. We need to add coal, limestone, and water. Now water is actually going to be a bit of a problem, because I think the way I intend to get the water up to the trains is with a package loop. However, the downside is I need a lot of empty canisters to do that, which I do not currently have in the sink. So let's start by heading over to the west and I think setting up a hypertube cannon to get us there faster. So we're going to head over to the west where our fuel power plant is, and pretty sure we have canister production somewhere around there that we can just attach up to the dimensional storage, and then we'll have plenty of those. So first off, we need... Actually, we can set it facing this way, but then just turn the last one, right? Let's do that. This is a nice, convenient space for a hypertube cannon. So we go hypertube cannon, and we rotate to face that way. Pop that in. Then we grab power, power it up. Okay, now this last support we get rid of, and we just pop that in facing like that instead. And now we just head west. And that mostly worked. Maybe a bit too vertical than I'd like, but perfectly acceptable. So now we just go over to the power plant and find some empty canisters that we can siphon off. So that should be this down here is sort of the plastic and rubber setup. Very, very much a simple starter one. Oh right, I put some MAM researches in just to refill for the ones that I had used up when selecting recipes for the heavy modular frame factory. So let's make sure that keeps going. And this is the one that is producing the canisters and is sending them over here to the fuel. And then the fuel is going and being packaged. Right, okay, so what I need to do is, first of all, split that. Just like that, and like that. And then this can just go into just a regular storage container is going to be fine. You don't need massive quantities of these. And put dimensional storage. that up. Now I think we want to set that to faster production rate, just to compensate. And make this a smart splitter. Prioritizing the left, just because it should still be fine to be prioritized like that. However, this will ensure that this all stays nice and backlogged. And we can help accelerate that process. So yeah, this only actually needs 40, right? This is set to 40 a minute, and we're producing 60, so we should get 20 canisters a minute out of this once this fully backlogged, which should be soon. And then we'll be able to use the canisters to do the whole water loop thing. Alright, and we've just about done it. Just accelerated it up a little bit there to make sure that it works, and it does. So now we have a good solid couple empty canisters going out this way. And again, 20 a minute should be more than enough. Not in huge, desperate need. Just need a couple in order to get the package loops going for the water. Alright, so then the next thing we need to do is, let's respawn back up at the hub. And we need to add more iron. So the way to do that is, actually, this is going to be a pretty long-term thing, right? So let's get a hypertube junction in. And how do you... Why is this? Oh, right, because it needs to have a thing connected to it. So we need a hypertube junction, which goes along this line. And then just move it closer. Probably not that close, though. How about that? And then we connect that in. And now we can get hypertube supports going a couple different ways. Okay, that and that. Now I think we just need to like hold right while going through the hypertube, and it should send us that way. I've never actually used the junctions before. Nope. Well, that was completely wrong. Alright, let's just parachute back into the correct direction and figure out how we need to use the junctions, because this should in theory work. I just need to figure out how to get it to face the way that I want to go. Alright, so we go back to Jetpack. And nope, it really wants me to go that way. Well, that's annoying. We're gonna have to figure out how to use that. For now, I guess we just go this way. I mean, this isn't really going to work very well at all, is it? Alright, so we can swap to parachute, but yeah, no, it's going to be faster to just respawn and launch properly. Which I still need to figure out how to do that. Back to jetpack. Oh. Right, that's a thing. Alright. Now does this work? No. How on earth? How are you supposed to control this? Is there something that I'm missing here? Alright, there's clearly something that I'm missing here. What if I just take that out? Now will it send me that way? Yes. It will. Good to know. Alright. But what if I just go in this way? Yeah, I just don't know how that works. I simply do not understand how to use the hypertube junctions. Well, worth a try. We can just manually do the junctions, I guess, by just doing that the old-fashioned way. And now we launch over this way, and it's easy. Alright, so we have to get over here, because this is where the iron is, in the dune desert. Okay. Will we have enough height to stay on this? Yes, we will. Alright, here we are. Dune desert iron. So, up here we have one belt of iron. And this can handle up to 10 belts of iron. I don't know if I'm going to put the full 10 belts in, but might go something like 5. So let's have... These are all lined up, right? So let's just put one of these in for each of these. And then, no, stop it. Don't place it there. Place it on the floor. Thank you. Alright, so now we just send all of those up and over like that. And something like that. Then all of these just go across. And now we just need to go down. And another MAM research just finished, so just got to keep on scanning those. Alright, no, we are actually done for now with 3 spares. That's pretty nice. Let's check that. We're not having inventory problems at the moment. Although the encased industrial beams might be a problem. Because we are doing a whole lot of fast belts. So these get to all go down like that. we got all of them. Yes, we did. Cool. So now we just need to keep on setting them down. And then once they are all down there, then we're going to have to just hook them up to the iron. Alright. And our encased industrial beam supply is definitely not... It's not in complete shambles just yet. We can use Mark II belts if need... or Mark III belts if need be. Alright, we are going to need to get closer, which means actually heading down. Alright, so now we're here. And we drop down to this layer. And down you go. Gosh, we're really not even that close yet, are we? Yeah, not even close. And we're out of encased industrial beams. Alright, one more on this level, and hopefully the future ones we'll be able to get from the ground. Okay, let's just make these Mark III for now. It's obviously much slower, but at least we have steel beams. So all of these go down, and then we can upgrade these to the Mark IV later. Alright, keep on descending. And keep on sending the belts down. Gosh, we're gonna run out of Mark III belts too, aren't we? Alright, then those. And those. Yeah, this might have been a bit ambitious in terms of the amount of belts I'm adding. Maybe a bit ambitious. We're still not at the ground level, are we? Goodness. Alright, so then these go the rest of the way down, and it should just be one more after this, approximately. Alright, now we're down here. And we're back to having a good number of encased industrial beams. So let's stand here. Why do I keep hitting the wrong button? Alright. Now we can bring these the rest of the way down. And then this one can go back to being Mark III and come down, and we're gonna have to do a lot of upgrades there, but that's fine. So we have these belts. And we also have a power pole there. And now we just need to find all of the iron that there is. So let's do an iron ore scan. And there's one right over here. So let's bring the power pole over there. And here it is. Just an impure, though. Still may as well attach it up. Alright. Then we scan again. There's another one over here. So over we go. Please don't also be impure. Also impure. Alright. So that's those two. Then we have another one 180 meters this way. If this is also impure, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed. Alright, now this is pure. That's great. Alright. So then we have those. And let's do another ping. Because we still need more. The goal is to add so much iron that we never have to... Well, not never, but it'll be a long time before we have to upgrade. Rather than just getting barely enough iron ore for the current project. Alright, so then we have that one. Which, actually, can you upgrade all the way to... No, you can upgrade up to 300. Still pretty good, though. And we keep scanning. There's another one, 100 meters this way. Let's head on over here. And this is another pure. Fantastic. Now the pure nodes are currently marginally wasteful because we can't max overclock them without running out of belt space. Still pretty great to have. So what do we have here? We have, I believe it was 2 impure, a normal, and 2 pure. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm gonna keep going, though. There's another one 200 meters this way. And then looks like another one a little bit past that. Please be more pure nodes. Alright, normal nodes are still perfectly fine. Alright. Could you please move out of the way, bozo? There we go. So that is another one there. Alright, for now at least, let's bring these in and see how much we have. So this is 300. So let's gather like these couple up and then belt them over. So let's head over here. This one is 480. Alright. So we bring these belts along. Eventually we're gonna run out of encased industrial beams. So this is 120, it's a normal node. So you get to be 300. Alright, so once we do have... Once we finish with the modular frame factory, I'm gonna make an encased industrial beam factory, just so that we have lots of those. Because those are going to be the primary belt material for the rest of the phase. Which is possibly going to be a while, because I obviously am taking it a bit slow with this game, not blitzing through everything. So we have 480, 300, 300. So let's just keep bringing these along. And keep on bringing these along. Let's see, I haven't missed any, have I? No, so this is the next one. And this is also a pure, so you get to be 480 a minute. Yeah, we're definitely not going to have the encased industrial beams to bring these all the way. So let's get distracted and pick up a summer sloop real quick, and also a hard drive, I guess. May as well. This is in a starting area, so it should be easy to get. Yep, just some rods. Got you. And do you happen to have encased industrial beams? No. Shame. Alright, where is this summer sloop that I'm apparently walking towards? It's going to be underground, possibly in this cave? No, that's just a purple power slug. Alright, so there's a cave around here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to find. Oh, is this it? Oh yeah, this is definitely it. Let's head in here. Make sure our encased industrial beam supply keeps refilling while we're distracted. Alright, that was actually quite quick and easy. Nice, relatively free summer sloop. And now we just have to get out of that. Alright, so now we're here. We have that as another 480 coming out, and then we have, I think these two are both impure, right? Impure, so that's going to be up to 150. Alright, is this? No, that's going to be a copper. Alright, so 150 is convenient because I can just use Mark III belts for this. So let's bring this along back here. And this is also going to be 150. Alright, so then we get these up over the dune. And over this way. And so these two add up to 300. I don't actually know how many full belts I'm making here, but probably 3 or 4. Let's think. So I have 2 pures, so that's 2 full belts. I have 2 300s there, which is 1 full belt and 120 spare. Then I have 300 total over there, so I'm up like, I don't know, some weird number, basically. Alright, we're just going to bring all these over and not worry too much about it. So these belts aren't all going to be exactly full, but also I use Mark III belts at some point during the construction of the lifts. so that doesn't really matter anyways, at least for the time being. Yeah, and note to self, make sure to grab a lot of encased industrial beams into my inventory before setting up the next batch. Alright, so those all come along here. And I've lost track of which ones were the full ones. Might be a bit of a problem, but actually might not. This actually might be enough. So we have 5 there, right? We have 1 full there. We have 2 fulls here. So that's 3 fulls. And then we have 2 halves as a 4th full. Yeah, I think technically we're just a little bit short of a full 5 belts. Which is fine. I mean, not going for exact numbers here. We're just want to get as many belts as possible. We're low on encased industrial beams again. So let's grab a power slug. And yeah, down to 67. Alright, there's a Mercer Sphere over this way. Let's head over here and grab it. We always need more Mercer Spheres, absolutely 100% of the time. May as well grab another power slug while I'm passing by. Alright, there's another Mercer Sphere.
I have a question.
Scan and explore.
Can you explain what a temple is?
A temple is a vessel body, each a knot in our tapestry. Temples are root, vein, and organ. Temples are our shallow bones and our shallow windows.
I think I understand, but how do you maintain them?
The builder blood grows and kills and distributes.
Like fungus in a forest.
There's another pyramid over there, in case we need one more. Alright, so we're just gonna head back over this way. We are pretty close with these 2. Not quite so close with the others. Just a whole lot of belts need to be built here, unfortunately. And there is not much I can do to speed it up. So we're just going to place belts along. And I do not care about clipping at this point. They can just do that. Here we are. We are almost there, though. Like, it is right off there in the distance. So we can bring one of these all the way over. Alright. And then we head back here and do the same thing for another one. And then we're going to have to track down again which is the pure ones and which are the normal ones. We want to do some merging with the normal ones and the impure ones to get them to full belts. So yeah, because if we take the 300 a minute normal one and the 150 a minute impure one, we get to 450 a minute, which is like basically full. Whereas obviously if we do the same thing with a pure one, we're just throwing away an entire miner's worth. Alright. There are no Mercer Spheres or Summer Sloops in this direction. Are there any over here? None. I guess let's track down a power slug then. Ooh, this looks like a fun little place to explore. Down into the spooky cave. And really a blue power slug? I had to go into a spooky cave for it and everything? Crazy. Alright. Let's keep on exploring around here. If I happen to see another hard drive by sight, that would be nice. No, apparently this entire area is just dead. Okay, there's a power slug over there, but it's just a blue one. Okay, I see a Mercer sphere up on top of that ledge over there. Let's head over there and grab it. And how's the encased industrial beams looking? Still pretty terrible. Yeah, those are going to need upgrades. Possibly like even a second dimensional depot for them, maybe. Although it's probably a production issue at this point. And if it isn't, it's going to be one soon. Alright, that's another Mercer sphere.
Look through the window
And there's a summer sloop over this way, so let's grab that. Alright, summer sloop. Where are you? Up here on this weird little pillar thing. Cool. There we go. Get another one of those.
Be appropriate.
And there's another Mercer sphere over this way. Alright. Once you start finding them, they just sort of keep coming. There it is, on the other side of this river. Is this a river? What even is this? I have no idea. It's either a river or like a shallow lake or something. Alright, and then there's another summer sloop over this way. So let's grab you. And apparently there's another Mercer sphere over this way. Well, I'm not going to complain. Not going to complain. I really need a lot of these to get dimensional depot upgrades that I want. So we're going to grab that. That hard drive is too far out to be worth it, I think. Although there's another Mercer sphere over this way, which I will grab. And yeah, no, we've definitely run out of encased beam production. That is pretty bad. That is pretty much the worst thing that could happen. Alright, so this Mercer sphere is going to be in this pile of rocks. So let's blow it up and grab the sphere. Alright. There's another one of those. And yeah, alright. So we're just going to have to make do with what we can and then return and improve the encased industrial beam production, I think. It's unfortunately going to be somewhat urgent. Alright, so let's return. We did get like a good, what, 4 or 5 Mercer spheres there? And like 2 or 3 summer sloops? That's pretty great, honestly, for just like randomly getting distracted while waiting for a dimensional depot. Alright, so now we return. And we slide jump on over. And yeah, there's just nothing in this area over here. Alright, but really just like adding one more full belt should be enough iron for this exact situation. So let's figure out which one of these is the pure node. And make sure that that one goes all the way. Is it you? Yes, you're a pure node. And you go over this way. And Yeah, so you can just go in there. And then we're just going to have to also do a couple of those upgrades if we can. Possibly cannibalize some of these that aren't going to be used for now for more encased beams. Then we ladder on up. And let's see here. Can I see that from here? Yes, I can. You get to be Mark IV belt. So we can just barely upgrade them from over here. At least we could that one. So now we climb the rest of the way up. You get to be Mark IV. And hopefully those were all of the Mark III belts in there. No, there were others. So let's convert some of those ones to Mark III. And that will give us the materials to convert some of these ones to Mark IV. Alright. More climbing. How is that like entire one Mark III when all the other ones are mostly Mark IV by this point? That's annoying. Alright. Congratulations. Wait, no, you're an actually important one. Dang, I may have just made this situation slightly worse, but that's fine. We can come back here and fix this. Actually, there's no point climbing up. I'm just gonna respawn. So we need to. How is there a Mercer sphere within range of this? I'm like a billion miles in the sky. All right, so we need to head west-ish for the old base, because that's where our encased industrial beams are. Just the northwest over here by the space elevator. So let's launch over there and see if we can, summer sloop, maybe overclock, do something to make the encased industrial beam production non-terrible for the short term until we can permanently upgrade it. Alright, so here we are. You get a summer sloop. And what if we just max overclock you? I need 45 steel beams and 90 concrete. You can currently get 20 concrete off of, 60 limestone. So this is a pure limestone node. So we can make that up to 480. Alright, what we need is more power shards. So in order to do that, we get... Pretty sure I had a constructor for this at some point. Get a constructor. We tell it to make something. Actually, not wire. Make a cable. Throw in enough to start on a recipe. So that sets that. Now we go to this mode. We throw the purple power slugs in. And we make a whole bunch of power shards. So this should give us another 40 of them. Which we're just going to wait for the first batch to finish, and then we can start power sharding some stuff. Yoink. Alright. So. This needs beams and concrete. So the concrete is here. This is making a lot. And now we can split there into 240 each. And then these can go like that. Make 75 concrete total. Which is not terribly far off from the 90 this would want. So then the steel beams want 45. It's all being fed from this one constructor, which is also feeding the Mark III belt. That's a problem. So let's make you go as fast as humanly possible. Cost of 150 steel ingots, which these are 45 each. Alright, I need to grab some of those. Where was that constructor that I built? Here it is. Grab more of those. Then swap this over to yellow. Because I have a whole bunch of those. Alright, so then that can accept a whole lot of steel beams very quickly. And then these can make as many as they can. So that should be 225 steel ingots there, which would be more than enough for this if these had inputs to keep up, which they almost certainly don't. So let's upgrade all of these. See, this is so much worse than just simply having enough production in the first place. Alright, so we can do all that. But the coal supply just isn't even enough for this anyways. That's kind of a non-starter, but I guess we can do a little bit of that, and a little bit of that, and then hopefully that something along with all those summer sloops and power shards will make that good enough. Alright. There we go. And then, yeah, we've used all the summer sloops that we have currently, so we can't fix the concrete. Or actually, let's grab those, because I don't think they need it. And now I can make you better. And now that should be enough concrete as well. Alright, well, that should... Let's throw some of that in, throw some of that in. Should be fine-ish. Case industrial beam production is at 30 a minute. Probably temporarily, but it's a lot better than nothing. Alright, so now we have the iron more or less upgraded. We have the encased industrial beams have a bandage on them. Very sloppy bandage. So then the next thing we need to do is get coal, limestone, and water. Get all of those onto the train network, and we can get started on our factory. You always sort of underestimate how ridiculously awful encased industrial beams are to work with. Alright, let's respawn. We need to get up to here. And I'm going to grab this Mercer Sphere. It's just going to keep bugging me. It must be like directly down here, right? Alright, where are you? It's gotta be somewhere in with all that radiation, huh? Gotta be. Alright. Well, there's too much radiation there for me to find it and not probably just die before I can pick it up. So we're gonna have to ignore it. Alright, so we need to bring a source of coal up here. Now let's just go to the interactive map and find out where all the coal nodes are. Let's see, where's a reasonable spot? You can head back up to the Dune Desert, and there are a couple over there, I guess. It's a bit strange to end up grabbing everything from the Dune Desert, but I guess like if that's what's convenient, then that's what's convenient. So off we go. And we just go flying along. I would like to land up here on the train platform, because I need to drag a train station out that way. Alright, here we are. Now, it's going to be a good bit north of us, I think. So we're just going to head off to around here. According to the map, it's like northeast of that water source over there. So yeah, we're going to have to head a little bit over this way. And I guess this is going to be the best spot to put it. Alright, so then we get something like that. And then that. Alright, hang on. I have to actually remember which way these all connect in. So this needs to go into there. Which means that the other one of this has to go off this way. And this has to go in there, and the other one has to go off this way. And of course, now we have errored out all of this. Alright, so you are a block signal, and you get to go a little bit further back that way. You get to be a path signal. And go like there. Alright, then this gets a path signal. This gets a block signal. Then this gets a path signal. And let me guess, signal loops into itself. Yep. So this path signal has to be back like there. And now this is all functional. So now we just need to bring this over to wherever that coal was. Oh, I just placed two on top of each other again. Really weird that happens. Alright, let's do the coal scan. And oh, is those two up there? Yes, we have to head up that way. So I guess we do have to head a bit further east as well, so I guess we'll do that first. Alright, so over this way. And, oh, I walked off the edge. Even more over this way. Just keep on placing. Alright, this ought to be about right. So now we have to do a turn. And if I remember correctly, our turns were something like this. There's probably a way of blueprinting these, but just doing them manually is not too difficult. So those just go around like that. Now we head north until we are right on top of the coal. Right. Railway expanding. Railway is expanding, and there's like a billion coal up here, so we shouldn't need to do much more than this one spot for a long while. Right. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Is that far enough? Getting close now. You can see them down there. So we just keep going over this way. And it's gotta be there at this point, right? Yeah, just go one or two more. Maybe three. It's a bit of a long-ish branch, but now we should be right about here. So, we need to then turn this into a station. So let's just build a whole lot of space over here. And so this is the right side, so we're going in this way. And so, okay. Let me think. We're going to put the station like here, maybe. Hang on, I was hitting the wrong buttons to adjust it, and nothing was happening. I was like, why is nothing happening? Alright, so that can probably go in there. And should be enough space. So now we just need to connect those up. like that, which... Alright. We don't need that anymore. So that is just connected. Because I don't think we're ever going to want to go over this way except to use this train station. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should have the ability for other trains to go in here, but we can fix that later if we need to. Alright, so now we just expand that out. And freight platforms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're not going to use all 5 because there's only 2. Well, we're not going to bring 5 belts down because there's only 2 pure nodes here. And as we've established with the last one, bringing a whole bunch of Mark IV belts is very costly. So for now, we're just going to get 2 of these going. Alright, so let's bring a foundation down there just so we can have a way to stand and look at this from below. Alright, now these can both go down. Although, because of the shortage of encased industrial beams and the fact that I only need 392 for the current project, I'm going to just send down 1 belt for now. So we're just going to send 1 belt down. And once we have lots of encased industrial beams, then we can expand this out. But for now, we're a bit supply constrained. Yeah, like even this, we're not even gonna make it all the way. And we are just like, we're close enough that it's gonna be worth waiting for it to finish, I think. Out of portable miners. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I crafted a couple before the stream, but not that many. Alright, so we're down here. Now, the equipment workshop. Let's make some portable miners. Gosh, this takes ages. We're just going to sit here doing that for a while. And get a good couple extra. I'm going to go up to 10, I think. 7, 8, 9, 10. And once we get these heavy modular frames producing, we're going to make all of the random convenience and optional things like automated miners, like what is it? High-speed connectors for all the Caterium stuff. It's going to be great. Also, we need to get up there, which I only just now realized I did not bring a ladder down. Can I jetpack up? Yes, but potentially, but it's gonna suck. Let's just ladder up. And we're also going to need to bring power up here. Can I? Yes, I can use this as an ad hoc placement for power lines. That's fantastic. So we're just going to do that. Alright, so this has to go all the way up. And then we need to keep bringing this power line up. then we get back on the ladder to keep bringing the power line up, and we'll bring it up as far as it can go, and then replace it and do another one. Alright, there we go. And the laddering continues. Up we go, up the giant, ridiculously long ladder. And I think we're just going to finish the ladder and then return for the power lines. It's going to be easier to do that if I have the ladder fully in place. Alright, so we're just keeping on going up. And gosh, it's going to be so nice once I can get encased industrial beams automated at an acceptable rate. Like, as it is, they're just so incredibly slow. Even with all of the boosting we've done, it's still technically like half. And that's if that's running at full speed. Alright, so now we get down here, grab the power line, and we keep going up until it's going to say that the power line is too long. And then we look for somewhere to put it. Alright, so yeah. There we go. And we keep on going. Just climb until it says the power line is too long, and then we place it. Oh, well, that just said the wire was too long because I was looking all the way up into the distance. So let's keep on going. Alright. Then that goes in, and we're most of the way up at this point. So up we go until it says the wire is too long. Alright, apparently the wire is just apparently never too long. Well, let's do that. Don't know what the consequences of that placement are going to be. Oh, it's fine. Cool. Alright, now we just bring this along this way. And power it up. So we should see coal starting to move up. I mean, it's a very long belt, so it's going to take ages to even get to the point where I can see. Let's drop down and check. Don't want to have like accidentally not connected it up or anything. Alright. What is going on? How is this? Oh, it's because I didn't connect the train up to the train network? No, I could have sworn that I did. Alright, we're gonna have to head up and investigate. This is turning into somewhat more complicated than I was hoping it would be. Let's fill up our inventory with encased industrial beams so that we don't run out of them ever. Alright, now we just climb the rest of the way up. Gosh, I wish there was a faster way of going up. Like if this were a horizontal distance, it would be pretty easy to just use a hypertube cannon. But going up, we just have to go up. Doing a bit of climbing. Doing a bit of climbing. This is a bit of a fundamental flaw with my factory design here, which is it requires a lot of vertical climbing. be nice if we were closer to the ground. I guess I could, like, make a train station system down there that, like, then brings it up onto this level, but that seems... it seems like something I might want to do at some point. I don't know. And the thing is, if I want to do it at some point, I should do it now. Yeah, this whole thing is apparent. Oh, did I not set these railways to auto-connect? Gosh, that's going to be annoying if true. I'm going to have to replace all of these because I wasn't in the right blueprint mode. Please say that that isn't the case. Alright, what if we go back here? And I guess we're just going to have to try to drive a train onto this. Actually, we can just pop a train down anywhere. Yeah, no power. Oh, that's the worst. Alright, note to self, make sure to set train tracks to the correct mode before you place them. So yeah, this is still angry because it doesn't see any way out. So if I put my train down here and I turn right, I'm going to go like 6 inches and immediately stop. Right? Yep. As expected. Alright, well, that is awful. Alright, so we're just going to have to run along, dismantling all of these, and then replacing them. Alright. Horrible mistake to make. Horrible mistake to make. But we're just gonna have to redo it all. So all of these railways have to come out. The foundations can stay, I guess. But all the railways have to go. And then be replaced, but properly connected this time. I guess technically I don't have to dismantle all of these. I can like dismantle every other one, but that seems like a lot more effort than just mindlessly going through. So we're just gonna mindlessly go through and dismantle all of these. Set that so that we can get all of this steel out of our inventory by replacing it. Otherwise it's just going to clog up the inventory forever. Alright. So we just run through like this. Almost there. And we're going to replace them all in just like one giant or smaller number of giant pieces. Alright, these last bits should actually be connected because I built them manually. Alright, so off we go. And we just have to place these railways back. Alright, like that. And keep going. And keep on placing. Alright, so that is another section there. And we just keep going. Not the slowest thing in the world, so not horribly quick either. So we just have to do this, and then bring the other one back the other way. And then this will be done. Alright, I really need to be in Blueprint Auto-Connect mode for the railways. It's crucially important. Alright, then this has to get like somewhere around here. And then rotate like that. And then these keep going. And almost there. So once this is connected, the whole train station will be connected and the coal will start up. So by the time we make it back, it'll all be solved. Alright. And then bring this one. Alright, one more piece. And we just connect in there. Alright, now we just have to bring this along. And let's dismantle that train. Just so it's not sitting there awkwardly being annoying in the future, because it seems like the sort of thing that I might forget to remove. Alright, so we bring this all the way back. And let's do a quick sprint jump to get a little bit faster. Alright, now we need to get around this curve. So let's go there. And there. That ought to be good enough. So over we go. And keep on going. Alright, just a couple more of these. And a couple more. Just a little bit more railway placing, and then we will be done with this, and we won't have to worry about all this next time, because I'm just not going to mess up for when we go grab the limestone or the water. And I really thought this was going to take a lot less time than it has. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. I was hoping we could be like fully just onto producing the factory by this point. At this rate, we'll be lucky if we get it in by the end of the stream. Alright, so now we just take this along this way, and I do see iron ore coming up. It's always a good sign. And we need to get this to... Why would it try to do it that way? So we need you to go in like that and in there. Alright, is this full? That doesn't look full. But it's probably fine. Probably fine. I will check, though, actually. Let's see. So we get here. So all of these belts. All these belts should be Mark IV. And they all are. Oh, did I not put the power shards? Yeah, I must have just not put the power shards in. Well, now I have. So that's 480 coal, and now we get to spend the next 5 minutes climbing a ladder again. Actually, let's check. It's 3:21 now when I get on the ladder. What time will it be? And by the time I make it up to the top. Alright, climbing a ladder. Yeah, this is definitely not the quickest process in the world. But at least we have our coal now. So we have iron ore check, coal check. Next up we need limestone and just water. And the water should be... well, it's going to be... we're going to be bringing it up and down via plastic containers. Because that is the only way to get water up significant distances without increasing power consumption with pumps or rails. Because trains going up railways have to use more power. But just a packager and unpackager setup doesn't use power. Or actually, that also uses power. Who am I kidding? We're just gonna pump it up, I think. Probably faster and easier. It won't require stupid encased industrial beams. Yeah, let's just pump. Because the amount of packagers that we would need to do an entire belt's worth is not small. Alright, so that's coal. Coal, check. So then the next thing we need is limestone. We don't actually need that much limestone. Okay. There is the option of just grabbing the limestone from the dune desert as well. Oh, I have to put up a train for this. Hang on, let's do that real quick. One. Actually, you're facing the wrong way. Train. Facing that way. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. And I also need to label this station. So this is going to be Dune Desert Coal. Dune Desert Coal. Station labeled. Alright, now we just label the train and give it its stations. Alright, so this is Dune Desert Coal. Edit the timetable. Add you on. Add you on. And off you go. Alright, so that's that. Now we just need to head over here, I guess. Looks like the limestone is around that lake down there. Yes, I can see it. Alright, so get to around this area. And, oh, I need to put signals on this entire branch more than just the singular block that it's all in currently. Alright, well, let's let's get this in with Blueprint Auto Connect mode. And I'm gonna... Ooh. Ah! Stop placing a whole bunch of them at once. Alright, so now we just head over here to that oasis type thing, and we grab our limestone. Alright, how far are we? Still got a couple to go. Alright, so we head over this way. And probably getting close now, right? Yeah, that should be plenty. Alright, so let's just set up a station here. So we need some space, both horizontally and vertically. Let's see here. Let's put those in, and train station. Alright, so train station goes in. Then this side is going to have to go around, so let's put those in. So that needs to go out that way. Alright, then we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Expand this out a little ways for the 5th one. Like so. And 5. Alright, now we have to come around this way. With this railway. Go out like that. And how do we get this to line up properly? Like that. And then like that. And then like that, I guess. Works pretty nicely. Alright, so now we connect that in. We call this Dune Desert Limestone. Alright, so then how does this have no power? Oh, because I never connected this branch up with that branch. Yeah, that's fine. Let's head over here and connect that in. Alright, so this needs to... Right, it's all weird because it's not the small individual pieces. So that goes like that. Then we come across and we put those in there and there. Alright, now we need to do the signaling. Signaling is important, of course. So we get a path signal on facing the other way, please. This is so aggravating. What do you have to do to get a pass signal facing the other way? Apparently it simply cannot be done. Fantastic. Alright, it can be done back here. Which is probably going to break something. Why is that all red? Huh? Is this not connected again or something? What? What is... Alright, I guess something that I just did fixed it all. So that's nice. Okay. Fine. Not gonna complain about everything working. We're just gonna put all the path signals in. And then we put block signals in. There. There. And there. And sure enough, we have the whole loops into itself problem. Which, weird, the only way of fixing that is by doing something like this. So now we get a path signal in there. Then we take that path signal out. Make sure it's far enough back. And then we take this path signal out, make sure it's far enough back. Which is going to involve dismantling that, apparently. Alright, then that goes in. Alright, you've gotten stuck. And the reason you've gotten stuck is probably because that block signal. Yes. So that block signal needs to be there. Which has no exit signal. Oh, is that not connected? Alright. Absolutely bizarre things happening with the train tracks at this point, but I think that is actually all connected up. So, the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put signals on that whole branch, but first I'm going to grab some encased beams and actually make this limestone train a real thing. So we go over here, we pop that in, and there you go. Alright, now we ladder down here to get an angle, and down we go. Wait, I should bring power. So hopefully it's long enough that we can just platform our way down. Oh, that's ridiculous looking, but it might even end up working. We can just put the power tower platform on the conveyor lift. Alright. Congratulations. It is the least stable power tower in history. Alright, now we get to here. And we keep on dragging this down. Hey, look, a Mercer Sphere. That's convenient. Let's... Alright, we've lost range on the power tower. So we're just going to bring the belt the rest of the way down, and we're going to connect the power tower up on our way back. Alright, so now we're here. We are down at approximately ground level. And we can grab a sphere. Yoink. Apparently there's a summer sloop over this way. Yeah, there it is. I'll grab that as well.
Growth, the future, an idea, and frankly, you.
Here we go. There's another summer sloop.
Both are necessary, yet only one can't function without the other.
Alright, now we head over here. Bounce on the bean, because why not?
How long ago did you notice me?
There's no long. There are only spheres.
Alright.
I wonder,
So this
was
is
it always
impure
about
limestone.
survival, or is there something more, something beyond?
There was a pure limestone around here as
You'll
well.
see our threads.
Normal, impure. Alright. Seem to have been... Alright, it looks like the pure node was actually a little bit past this point, but that's fine. We can just grab these normal and impure nodes and just make a pure node artificially. There we go. So we get a miner Mark II. In you go. And you can go up to 150. Probably won't even need to go up to 150, but... Alright, so then we bring the belts along over this way. Where is the... Oh, it's over here, actually. So we don't need to do that weird zigzag. You can just go over that way. Please don't stand there. Thank you. Alright, so then this goes over here. Ooh, there's a hard drive. I should grab that. And let's blow up some of these poison flowers that are definitely going to be in the way. There you go. And let's get that one as well. Alright, now let's stop over here for the power shard, although we're going to have to blow you up as well. Oh, we need to bring power for that one. In that case, we will deal with that in a moment. Alright. Finally managed to successfully detonate that explosive, after apparently just failing a couple times. Alright, redo the scan. Then the next one is over here. And we have to mine some limestone manually to get the top off of this. I really wish there was a way of skipping this. It feels like there is, but I just don't know it. Alright, so then that goes in there. We make that 120. And we can belt it over. This comes on along this way. Like that. Then we have to get the normal node. Actually, well, let's at least set up part of the power system down here. So you get to be power tower platform, which connects into there, and then connects into a power line, which connects over to this one. Like so. And obviously, we're going to need to connect this up to that power tower up there in a moment. Alright, so the other limestone node is way over there. So let's head over this way. Spot it from the air. Limestone, limestone, limestone. Where are you? There you are. Alright, so now we're over here. And miner Mark II. In you go. Power you up to 240. And now 240 plus 120 plus 120 is 480, which is a full belt of limestone, which will be good enough for now. So this goes over there. I don't know why this is Mark IV. It could be Mark III just fine. Alright, so then this has to... Oh. Somehow I just completely missed it. It's right back there. So that connects into there. Then these two come along this way. And we're just going to need to merge them in. So you get a merger. And you get a merger. And you get connected to the merger. You get connected to the merger. And that is that. Pretty sure I powered everything on as well. Alright, so now we just need to get back up, which is going to involve a ladder, of course. So up we go. And then we're going to have to connect that up to the power pole up there. And then we will be all done and ready to go. Alright, so we get all the way up here. I don't know how high up we're going to have to be to reach that. Apparently a bit higher. So we just need to reach that power pole up there, connect it down to the power pole below us, and then we will be good. Still too far, so we keep on laddering up. Shouldn't be much further, we're pretty close to it now. Yeah, there we go. Alright, there we go. So then now that's placed in, we can just connect that down to that. And all of these guys are going to get their power. And after a brief delay, they'll start producing. Right now, there we go. And the rest of them should be starting as well. Alright, now we just bring a power line along to that hard drive, which, where did it go? Okay, it's over there for some reason. I don't don't know why I thought it was over there. Also, what buttons am I pressing? There's a poison flower around here, isn't there? So an explosive to just clear the area to make sure. Alright, so we get that. Alright, then we power that up. We fly on over. And we get a hard drive. Nice and free. Alright, so that is that. Limestone. One belt of limestone is connected. And it looks like it's working. That looks full. Alright, so that's that. Now we just have to ladder all the way up to the train station. So up we climb, and we climb, and we climb until we make it. And I really thought we were gonna get started on the actual production today, but we still have water to attach up. So I guess if we do, yeah, we have to get water attached up, then we need to build the destination stops for the factory, and that will realistically, at the rate it's been going, that will be the rest of the stream probably. Although actually we can save some time by just getting water from back here, right? Like this is a reasonable enough spot to put in a couple of water extractors. So we won't have to build a whole new train stuff. We can just do the pipes and everything. So let's get up here and set up another train station. Alright, so now we have to very carefully jetpack over here. And I think I'm going to let a ladder down there just so that we can more easily hop over to that ladder to climb up. Alright. So now I want to put just another train station in here. No, we should do the signaling. Signaling is gonna be a problem if it isn't done. So let's see. Let's get just like a signal in there. This area is going to be relatively depopulated, so it's not going to need a huge number of signals. Now this area will have a couple trains in it, so it'll be nice to be better signaled. And again, I don't really... Previously I was like counting how much space. I think for this section I'm just going to sort of mostly wing it, since it's not like the main loop. Alright, let's just go one more signal like in this area around here. So there and there, and that should be good enough. Alright, now we can go back to constructing some train signals around here. So we go back over here, and we just need to like branch off of this another train station which is going to get water, and I think we should branch it off back here. just to make sure we have enough space. We might end up moving that signal there a little bit. Alright, so that is that. Then this goes like that. And then across to the other side like that. Then this goes like that. And then across to the other side like that. Alright, then these signals are going to need to come out, of course. And we're going to have to put in the signals for this section. So you get a path signal there. A path signal here. And a path signal here. And then a block signal on all the outputs. There, there, and there. Alright, now these are all unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Because it loops into itself. Oh, that's going to be this one, isn't it? Alright, you... Yeah, this one goes weirdly far back, so you need to be, like, there. Alright, now that all works. Cool. And now we just curve this to go a little bit over that way. So this is how we've been typically doing the curves. Like that. And then we put a two-way rail in there. And then those connect around. So let's put in a couple more of these. Like that. Alright, so now we have that. We can put the station in. Which I'm going to expand out that way. And a little bit out this way. And these all get expanded out. And then the station goes, say, there. Probably far enough for this to wiggle around. Alright, then that connects in. And this is dune, desert, water. Alright. Then we just make this fluid freight platforms. Okay, let's say that 3 times fast apparently. Fluid freight, fluid freight, fluid freight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a couple more. So that just gets expanded out. And that's the last one of those. So again, we're going to build in the size 5 train station for later. For now, though, it's just going to be a single max speed pipe, which should be just barely enough for our current project. Alright, so then this railway comes along here, continues along there. I think we're going to need it to curve. Apparently that was too much. So comes out that way. And I guess like that. And then in there. Alright, so now we have this. We put in a pipeline floor hole. Just pop that in there. And send you down. Alright, now we need a ladder. So the good news is that we already have power down there, which is why I'm building this here instead of somewhere else. Bad news is we're going to need a wall. Which is weirdly finicky. But we get it. Now we go over here. And we get a ladder. Alright, so the wall goes down. The pipeline goes down. And the ladder goes down. So we're going to ladder down a whole lot. And then bring the wall down, and then bring the pipeline down. And once we have water in the pipes, then we can confirm that it's going back up. Alright, so then that wall comes down there. Then the pipe comes down to there. And then down there. Alright. Making progress. This is not the worst thing in the world to build. It's definitely more annoying than just the lifts. But it also doesn't require encased industrial beams. So that's a huge win over the lifts. Alright, so then that comes down. And we keep climbing. I'm just going to finish the ladder, then come back for the wall. And then come back another time for the pipes. I think that will be more convenient than constantly swapping between hotbars and items and stuff. So down we go. And keep on going. A little bit more. And alright, we are just about at ground floor now. One more ladder should get us into those trees. And that ladder should get us to the ground. Alright. Fantastic. Now we're down here. Let's clear some space. And water extractor time. 1, 2, 3. We might need to overclock the water extractors. This is not as big as I was thinking it was. 4 and 5. Alright, we managed to fit in a full belt's worth, a full pipe's worth of water. So now we just need to... No, I don't. Why did it dismantle the water extractor and not the pipe that I was pointing directly at? Oh, this game sometimes. Alright, so that goes in there. the pipeline comes around that way, and then in. Then we just have to connect these ones up. Should be simple. That and that. Alright, now I've just realized I built this whole thing with Mark 1 pipes. So let's go through and upgrade them real quick. So there we go. That's all those upgrades done. Alright, so now we power them on. So we get a power pole from there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that's that. Next step is to grab the walls and the water and bring them down. So we climb like halfway-ish up the ladder. And then after that, we're going to have to pump all the way up, back up, which is probably going to require a ridiculous amount of power. Actually, how much does... Where is this going to be? Logistics, right? Mark II pump is 8 megawatts. And a packager is 10 megawatts. So 10 packagers would be 100 megawatts. So we'll have to see which one is better. Either way, it's not a huge amount of power for the current part of the game, at least. Alright, so we grab the wall, and down it goes. Grab the pipe, down it goes. And we just keep on going. Wall down, pipe down, and keep on going. Wall and pipe, and probably just a couple more times. Wall and wall and wall. Alright, and then we can just do the last couple of pipes if I don't randomly slip off the ladder for no reason. Alright, so then we can grab that. And get that in. Gosh, why is this ladder so hard to grab? Alright, then we send that down a little bit further. And now we're just about here. So we get down to there. Bring it over here. And now up the junction they go. Alright, so you get to be the first one of those. Then you get to go up there. How have I never purchased... Hang on, let me... Oh, I need screws for that. How have I never purchased the power wall mounts? Those are going to be important, actually. How long is it going to take to manual craft a bunch of screws? Not terribly long. We just need to get up to 100 of these. And place an awesome shop and buy some stuff. Namely, power pole wall mounts. Alright. Oh no, it's 200 screws. Alright, that's a lot more screws that we need, but that's fine. Just gonna get up to 200 screws so that we can have wall mounts, so that we can bring this pump all the way up. Alright, so there we go. Awesome shop. And where is it in management? Power outlets, marks 1 and 2. Buy those.
As Fix It
Dismantle the
aptly
shop.
demonstrates, you can never have too much
Gonna
management.
upload those. Alright, so now we have that. We bring the power pole up onto a wall mount up there. And now we climb. Alright, so then that gets powered up. And the next one goes in. And the power lines continue. Get that connected up. And we keep climbing. This is kind of difficult to do from this angle, but not impossible. Alright, then we grab the power line. And it keeps going up. And I do suspect that the packager system would be more power efficient than this, because we still have a long ways to go, and this is a lot of pumps. So that goes in. That goes in. And gets connected up. And we keep on climbing. Alright, so then that one goes there. Power comes there. And goes in. And keep climbing. We're gonna get there eventually. There's only so much of this that we're gonna need to do. Alright, so that power goes up there. Alright. There's an unfortunate bit of clipping there, which means we lose some potential height. So grab that, hook that in, and keep climbing. Must be nearly there. Where is... Am I missing something? Why do we not need another one yet? Is this one, like, not connected properly or something? Yeah, so we take all of that out. We connect that up to there. And that goes in there. And then the power line hooks it up. Alright, don't know what happened there. So then we get another one, and we keep on climbing. Up we go, and in. And that keeps going up. And we're nearly there, I think. Shouldn't be much longer. Maybe just a handful more pumps. And we should almost be in the clear. Alright, up we go. And one more just to push it the last little bit. And that should be that. So now we just need to get out and around. Like that. And yes, water is making it into this at a rate of 600 a minute. And that's what we expect. Alright, so now we put the train in. We get train. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you get to be dune, desert, water. And so you go from there to water hub, save changes, turn on self-driving. There we go. So that is that. And that means we have all of the resources for the factory being produced and sent to the hubs. So now we just need to return to, well, really anywhere, and start building the heavy modular frame factory. Is this fine? Yeah, this doesn't need to be 2 signaled because there's only to be like 1 train ever going back there anyways. Alright, so then this we can return and build our factory, which we're going to build it probably just like across the road from the rods production or somewhere in there. There goes the coal. It looks quite ridiculous with only the last carriage being filled with anything. I might go back and just split it among all of them just so that it doesn't look silly. Alright, we have a launcher over here, which I'm going to use to return to the hub. Alright, and off we go. So we just head on over this way. And here we are. Alright, we've made it. Now we need to set out a giant factory, which is not going to be trivial, but shouldn't be terribly difficult. So it's going to be a line of 4 input train stations, just all next to each other. So let's set it over here. This is a nice, reasonably open spot. Alright, so here we are. We start, of course, with the intersection off of the main line. And make sure to always build in Blueprint Auto Connect mode to prevent more headaches. Alright, so then this has to go like that. Then this has to go into there. And then they have to go across like that. And across like that. Alright, now we just make you a path signal. We make you a path signal. And we make you a path signal. And we put a block signal in there. And this is all set up. So now, this is the input, that is the output. So we need to make a setup for a whole line of train stations. So we go like that. Can I get this to curve this way? Like that. And then it's going to go straight over there. And then I believe you can fit a train station in off of a 2-block gap. So we get those 2 blocks in. And then we start laying out the foundations for our stations. And this is probably not going to be wide enough. But we'll see. So the first one can be here. Probably. Alright. So yeah, we need to make sure that this is going to work. And yes, it will. Alright. Smedjebakken. Good old... How is there a tree clipping through the foundations all the way up here? That is ridiculous. Alright, so we need to get more of these in. Which I guess means we need to expand this out even more. Alright, and this probably isn't even going to be enough, because train stations are very big. Alright, can I blow up this tree from up here? No, I can't. That didn't get it either. Okay. Throw that all the way down there. And we got it. Cool. Alright, no trees intruding on our building up here. So we get a second train station. In line with the first. And just... like solid blocks worth of gap between them. We need some space. Yeah, not even a full block. We need some space, obviously, for the belts to come out, but we don't need that much. And every bit of space saved is going to be great, because otherwise this whole project is going to be hilariously large. It's going to be hilariously large anyways, but anything you can do to not waste infinite amounts of space is a win in my book. Alright, so then that goes there, and this needs to go even further out. And expand all this back. Alright, so that is 4 train stations. Now we just label these as HMF iron ore, as HMF coal. That's the same one, right? Yes. This is HMF limestone. And this one is HMF water. Right now, we bring this railway, and we just drag it along. Alright, even a little bit further, I guess. Not sure that that's needed, but may as well have it. Then these all connect in like so. Alright. So those are all in. Then we put in the freight platforms. And apparently this needs to be expanded just a touch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit further. Don't need that much more space though, at least not for now. Surface is still uneven. Okay, we need this stuff over here to come out. Alright, so that is how long this has to be. Now this all goes over this way, because all of these are going to have to be that long. So that expands out like that. Alright, now we get coal in. 3, 4, and 5. Then we put in limestone. 1, 2, 3. Apparently these require a large amount of wire. Didn't realize that, and we've run out. Well, the good news is, once these are done, we won't need any more wire for ages. So we're just going to have to sit tight and wait for that. And we're going to have to set all of these to unload. And then that'll be all the trains done for this factory. Not the worst thing in the world. Not the worst thing in the world at all to set up. Alright, so that's another one. So we need another 600 wire, which is going to take like, what, another 5 minutes theoretically? Because it's like 120 a minute and 600 a minute, 600 total, so like 5 minutes through the dimensional storage. So that's not that bad. Just 5 minutes. Alright, so we're just gonna have to wait around. And there we go. That's the last one for that one. Now, I guess while we wait, and I assume the fluid freight also requires wire. Yes, it does. So while we wait for that, we can be productive by bringing the input train track along. So you come along this way and just keep on going. then we need a bit of space. And now we need all of these to just branch off of the train track. And we can do all of them except the last one, obviously, because we haven't put the fluid platforms in for that one yet. Oh, we actually need this to be one more, I think? No, this is actually enough. Alright, so now we come along here, put the railway in along this line, and then we are just going to have to connect it up to everything. Alright, so that is that. And now we just need these to all attach up, like that, like that, like that. Now we need the input to attach in, which means it's going to need to start turning earlier. No, even more than that, apparently. So we can just have it like that, and then in. Alright, so that is that. Now we just go to the fluid freights. And we have enough for 3. Well, we have enough for 2. We're going to have enough for 3 by the time we finish placing. 1, 2, and 3. And then just 200 more wire until all of the train stuff will be done. And again, no point doing nothing, so we can put these trains in. So this is the iron. Oh, locomotives also apparently require wire. Do freight cars? No, freight cars don't. Well, I guess we're going to be waiting on wire for a bit. Alright. I guess we can start constructing the factory floor. So we get a wall. The wall goes up. And a ladder goes up. And another wall goes up as well. Alright, so we just bring the ladder all the way up here. And is this high enough? Yes, it's actually more than high enough. We don't want to go too crazy with the height because of the water. So that is going to be enough there. Now we just have to drag all of these across so that we have something to send the resources up to. And that. And one more. Alright, so that's all of those. Now, how is the wire going? Up to 120 something. Not bad. So the next step is going to be to send all of these up. And up we go. And again, we can't know for sure, in principle, which one all the resources are in. So we have to do all of them. And we just keep going. Then this one. And this one. And apparently we didn't build this foundation far enough back to catch the last one. So we're going to have to climb back up here and do that. And then just expand this across. Alright, so that is that. Then we get this last one, which goes in there and up. Alright, wires should be mostly done by now, I would think. Up to 240 wire. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do the math wrong? Oh, no, this one is just facing the wrong way. I'm gonna have to take that one out. Place it in facing that way. Alright. Now, we just pop that in. Alright, all of the train track building for this factory is complete. We still have to put the actual trains themselves in, which is going to require another 200 wire, and we have 100. Alright, so let's just finish. Let's just do a little bit more stuff here. So now we drop down. And those go up there. Those go up there. Gotta make sure not to misplace any of them. Those go up there. And those go up there. And another one. Alright, now we can just snap all of these in. And there we go. Alright. How is the wire going? Up to 168. Alright, I'm going to start putting these trains in, because by the time we finish, we should have enough wire. That's a train. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. And it is going to be HMF iron. And it goes from HMF iron ore to iron distributor. And then we want to set this to be freight wagon is fully unloaded and wait for, I don't know, 5 seconds. Save. Save. Turn on. Alright, then we have this one, which is coal. So we have that, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, I just realized we're going to have to put all the block signals in for this. Forgot to do that. So this is HMF coal. So we go HMF coal, coal distributor. And we tell you to go once it's fully loaded and wait for 5 seconds. And off you go. Then this is limestone. So you get a train. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. And you get to be HMF limestone. And you go from HMF limestone to limestone distributor. And you're going to stay there until you're fully unloaded and wait for 5 seconds. Alright. And then finally water. So you get a locomotive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 freight cars. And HMF water. So you go from there to water distributor and do that. And off you go. Alright, now I just need to put in the signals. So first of all of you get block signals. There. Next, you're all going to get block signals at the back of the station. So there, 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 and there. And then I think we put a block signal like there. I don't know, maybe... No, a pass signal doesn't make sense for that. It should be fine as it is. Alright. The next thing I need to do is... cancel docking. Because what I realized is that all of these need to be set to unload. So we set all of these to unload. And now HMF iron ore should be good to go. Turn on self-driving. Off you go. Alright, now we go over to you. And we turn off self-driving. Cancel docking. And now we go to all of these, set them all to unload. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we can send you off. Alright, then we go to here. You turn off self-driving, cancel docking. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So all of those are set to unload. And off you go. Then finally we go over to this one. You cancel docking and turn off self-driving. And all of these have to be set to unload. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there waiting to be fully loaded forever, despite the fact that there are no resources coming into them from these. So those are all set. Now we go back here, and we send you off again. Alright, so that should be that. And probably going to be all clear. Alright, so now we've basically finished the trains section of this factory. And it took us a while, but mostly it took us a while because we were having to set up all of the input. Whereas if we'd already had all that stuff, it would have been faster. Alright, so then that goes up there. That goes up there. We just have to do this for all the rest of these. And then we can just live on the floor up there and not have to worry at all about the fact that resources have anything to do with trains. Alright, so then those go way up. And it looks like some of the trains are returning, possibly with cargo. Alright, so then that's the limestone. And now the only one left is the water. So the water is going to require... Fortunately, we don't have to be as picky about lining it up properly. We just sort of go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then all of these output to up there. And we're going to need pumps probably for all of these. Alright, so those all get their pumps. And now we power those pumps on. And done. Alright. Trains complete. So now we're just going to have to make sure to see that these actually work. However, iron is here. That's a good start. Are the other resources here as well? Doesn't look like it. Although it looks like coal might be just showing up. Alright, so now these... Actually, I know how to save some effort on the water. Because we know we only need 500 water, so we don't actually need all of those to come up here. We just need, like... We just need to merge them all up. And then send the merged version up here. And it's important to do that with water just because the pumps gotta save us some resources. Did I miss one, or is there just nothing in here? Oh yeah, that's just a weird empty section. Alright, so yeah, all of these can get dismantled. And we get rid of the pump and the pipeline. Alright, so what we need is a Mark II pipe that just sort of runs along here. And we need to get rid of that. So we have a Mark II pipe which runs along here. And that's how it lines up to be perfectly straight. And then we bring it the rest of the way over here. Alright, so now all of these. Alright, I missed one. And that's lined up to the wrong one. Alright, so now all of those are going to attach into this pipe. And now, wherever the water comes from, we can grab it. And then we just send the pipe up there in a single pipe. So that goes there. And should be all good. Alright, now we just have to do the same thing with all of these, but just obviously up here. And we don't need more than a single belt of any of these, which is pretty convenient. So let's stretch all of this back this way just to cover up the train stations. That goes, and all of those. Let's cover that little spot in. Alright, now we go merger. I don't know, I guess that way. And we just have to merge all of these up. And one more. Alright, so now this all merges up like so. And we have iron somehow. Alright, so now I'm just going to put that belt out there just as a representation of where it is available. So next, we get these ones merged up by the same way. Alright. Bring the belts across. And we bring the main belt across. And let's expand this like that. Alright, and we do not have any coal, apparently. So that's a bit worrying. We would expect some of it to show up by this point. Alright, well let's finish putting all of these in and then debug the train stuff after that. Alright, so all of those go. Now we all merge up. and limestone. Alright, so we have all of those, and I mean, I don't know, maybe we're going to use this space for something, probably. Probably the iron, probably the pure iron can just go over there. Alright, so in the meantime, let's drop down. The iron is having a good time. The coal seems not to be. So the coal just passed by and didn't unload anything. The limestone and the water haven't passed by recently, but also haven't unloaded anything. Alright, let's head back to the hubs and see what's going on over there. Hopefully I can get this all sorted so that next stream is no train worries, just factory building. Alright, so we get all the way over here. Alright, so iron. Iron is obviously working just fine. No complaints there. Alright, coal. Right, so I need to set the hubs to unload, otherwise it's not going to work. So let's run along doing that. And did I get the first one, or did I start on the second one? Can't remember. Alright, so that is coal hub set up properly. We're presumably going to have to do the same thing for limestone and water. So all of these are set to unload the trains. And water. So these all go in. Alright, so that's that. That should solve the problem. We're just going to need to wait for the trains for the trains to show up. So it's going to be a while before the fix trickles through, but that should be all that's needed. And obviously the iron worked because we realized that mistake previously and fixed it already. Alright, so that is that. And now we have... Oh, that could be... Oh, yeah, no, we're fine. Path nodes seems to have succeeded there. So currently I think only one train is allowed on the entire roundabout at a time. Or maybe... No, because it's path nodes in, so it should be fine. I don't know. But it doesn't look like there's infinite congestion. I mean, obviously it's empty right now. So at least for now, that should be good. I think I see... There was a train. I think that was with a water train, though. Alright, well... It is just about time to wind up the stream. So yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out. Had a good time today as usual. Next time we are going to actually start putting machines in for the factory. Sorry if you tuned in expecting that today. I really thought this would go quicker. But we should be clear to start that next stream unless something is broken horribly. So yeah, make sure to stop by. The next time we're going to be playing Satisfactory is on Wednesday, where we're going to be building the heavy modular frame factory, at least starting it. And aside from that, let's see. Tomorrow I'm going to be starting my playthrough of Factorio. So that should be exciting. Make sure to stop by for that if you're interested in Factorio, as I know a lot of you probably are. So yeah, that's that. Make sure to stop by. I stream every weekday from 2 to 5 Eastern Time. And I will see you guys then. Bye.